What's up, everybody on YouTube? AJ Rez back here with another video, and today we'll be recapping Week 7 of the 2022 NFL season. Yo, so what's up, guys? Let me know what y'all think about this weekly recap series of the NFL that I'm doing throughout the season. If y'all enjoy it, what y'all think about it, how you think your teams are doing. And also, I apologize for some of the recaps being extra long, like last week's. I think it was 16 minutes. So I'm definitely aiming it to be like less than 10 minutes, but we'll see what happens. Sometimes there's just a lot to talk about, and sometimes it just takes up a lot of time, but I enjoy it. So anyways, let's kind of talk about these Week 7 games. So we can kind of start with the first game from Week 7 last Thursday. The Arizona Cardinals play against the New Orleans Saints, and the Cardinals won 42-34. Andy Dalton actually had a crazy game. I mean, he threw 3 interceptions and had 4 touchdowns, but he had over 360 passing yards. And it was a high-scoring game, like I said, 42-34. Kyler Murray, he also threw for over 200 yards. The Cardinals had a much-needed win. They needed their, like last week I was talking about the Cardinals, they need to go on a little winning streak because there's mentions of Cliff Kingsbury being on a hot seat because, the Cardinals should be one of the best teams in the league and really the best team in their division. The same division in the NFC West with the Seahawks, with the 49ers. In the Seahawks, I think they're number 1 right now. We'll talk about them in a second, of course, but the Cardinals were able to grab that win, and they really needed it, and they need to continue winning. Let's get into an AFC North division rivalry. A game took place between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns, and the Ravens were able to win 23-20. This week they prevailed, but throughout the season so far, they've been choking a lot of leads. Like, in the fourth quarter, that's when it's really been chaos for them, because, they've been leading in games, for most of the season, but, against the Bills, they blew a lead. Against the Jets, they blew a lead, and they even had a turnover against the Browns as well on Sunday, and it looked questionable. Really, the Browns, they had an opportunity to tie the game and take it into overtime, but they missed the field goal bad. So that's how the Ravens were able to win. Of course, they have Justin Tucker, arguably the GOAT kicker of all time, and then Lamar Jackson, of course, being a stud quarterback, but he's been turning over the ball a lot lately in terms of, just fumbling and just throwing up some YOLO passes. But I still believe in the Ravens, and really, they still can be the best in the division. Like I said previous times before, Deshaun Watson, he's going to return in Week 13, but that'll be late into the season. So who knows how they'll do. And in Cincinnati, it seems like they're getting their rhythm back. So we'll see what happens in the AFC North, but the Ravens were able to win that game. Let's talk about 2 teams that have been very disappointing this season so far. So I'm going to start off with the Buccaneers. Dad, I know you love the Buccaneers. That's my dad's favorite team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, before Tom Brady got there. So shout out to my dad. He loved them. They won when I was a baby, and they won the Super Bowl in 2002-03. But anyways, the Buccaneers lost to the Carolina Panthers 21-3, bro. 21-3, the Buccaneers. Oh, man. And also, shout out to my boy Cullen, PJ Walker. He played in the XFL. And he started for the Panthers, and he might be taking Baker Mayfield's job. But, man, this is just really a shocking game overall from start to finish. The defense looks very suspect now in Tampa Bay, and that's been one of their signature things over the past few seasons, even before Tom Brady got there. And then also Mike Evans dropping a wide open ball earlier in the game. He was wide open. No one was around him. It should have been an easy touchdown, an easy tutty, but yeah, that was tough. I hope Tampa Bay can just turn things around, man, because things are looking very bad right now. I also feel bad for Todd Bowles. He's been a great defensive coordinator throughout his career and just a coach in general, so I just hope they can turn things around. So those were 2 3-4 teams I just talked about, and I also mentioned another disappointing team that's now also 3-4, and that's the freaking Green Bay Packers, bro. They lost to the Washington Commanders 23-21. Man, I don't know what's going on. Arguably, people call, of course, Tom Brady the GOAT. I don't think that's much of a debate. But also, people call Aaron Rodgers the BOAT, best of all time, most talented quarterback of all time. And those 2 quarterbacks, it just seems like they're struggling right now. We know that Green Bay lost Devontae Adams to Las Vegas in a trade from this past year, but it's even more deep than that. The defense, their defense is solid, but it seems like they're shaky sometimes. And then the offense is just a lot of errors. They still play the same offense as if Devontae Adams was there. They have a lot of young receivers and stuff like that, so they have to get acclimated to playing with Aaron Rodgers. But, man, it's just looking tough out there for Green Bay, too. So, hopefully for them, they can get things around, get their cheese heads back going. But, yeah, it's looking rough. Here's a couple games we can just run through real quick. So, the Cincinnati Bengals beat the Atlanta Falcons 35-17. Like I said, the Bengals are starting to get back on track. They're now 4-3 after having a slow start, losing a couple of early games in the season. Joe Burrow threw for 481 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. His connection to Jamar Chase, arguably being the best quarterback and a wide receiver duo in the league, so they were able to grab a huge win in Week 7. The Las Vegas Raiders beat the Houston Texans 38-20 this past week. Not really too much to be said about the Texans. They're trying to be one of the worst teams in the league. They just don't have enough talent. Davis Mills, I mean, he's obviously was their 2021 second round pick, but they're really going to be tanking. I think if they get Bryce Young in the draft next year, I mean, they'll be really set. And the Raiders, they're getting back their mojo. They need to continue to keep winning because, I mean, how they started off was so slow, and they can't really have any slippage of air in their division because they have the Broncos haven't been playing good. Let's not even talk about them, really. But they have the Chiefs and the Chargers in their division. So, like I said before, if they want to get a wild card spot, they need to start winning now. The New York Giants improved to a 6-1 record, beating the Jacksonville Jaguars 23-17 this past Sunday. Saquon Barkley, of course, one of the best running backs in the league, proving his dominance again. Daniel Jones being solid for them as well, and the New York Giants defense is very legit. So, hey, the Giants are interesting. Like I said, the NFC East, they're looking very prominent right now. The Eagles, the Giants, and the Cowboys. Continuing to talk about the NFC East, the Dallas Cowboys beat the Detroit Lions 24-6. The game was really closer until the second half, but the Dallas Cowboys defense showed why they're arguably the best defense in the league. Micah Parsons, I think it's up for debate if he's the best player in the league right now in his second season, which is insane. Dak Prescott obviously returned in this game as well after Cooper Rush played a solid 5 games, leading the Cowboys to a 4-1 record, arguably being the best backup in the league. I mean, he really proved that. And in the Eagles game, he slipped a little bit in terms of his play, but I mean, it's the Eagles right now. They're arguably the best team in the league. They had a bye week this week, but like I said, Dak Prescott, he returned in this game, having 207 passing yards, 1 touchdown, going 19 for 25, so a respectable game for sure. I feel like as long as he doesn't do too much, which shouldn't be said, because I mean, he's a top 10 to 12 quarterback in the league, in my opinion, and they have a great defense. As long as the Dallas Cowboys play physical offense, running the ball and then making key plays with Dak when you can, like receivers like CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, tight ends like Dalton Schultz, and just making plays, I think that the Cowboys can be a force to be reckoned with. So they were able to grab a Week 7 win, and now they're 5-2. Another team that started off slow but is not playing good is the Tennessee Titans, and they're now 4-2. They were able to beat the Indianapolis Colts 19-10 on Sunday, and we can talk about the Colts real quick. The Colts are now benching Matt Ryan, not only because he got an injury, but Frank Wright, head coach of the Colts, said that really it's just a decision that the organization made. They'll now be starting Sam Ehlinger, their second-year quarterback that came from Texas. So that's interesting. I mean, Matt Ryan, we know he was one of the best quarterbacks in the league a few years ago, but age, and not having a good offensive line in Indianapolis is playing a factor. So it's going to be Sam Ehlinger time. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, the Colts are in a division with the Titans, with the Texans, and the Jaguars, so not really a strong division. Really, they'll just be competing with the Titans for the division. So, I mean, we'll see what happens there. But, yeah, the Titans improved to a 4-2 record, winning 19-10 over the Colts. I'm sorry, guys. With all due respect, shout out to my boy Marvin. He's a Broncos fan, but I really don't like talking about them. They've just been the biggest disappointment in the league so far this year. So, but shout out to the Jets, though. They beat the Broncos 16-9 this past Sunday. The Jets have been really arguably the biggest surprise. I mean, with the Giants and teams like that, even the Eagles a little bit, but the Jets won 16-9. So I believe they have a 5-2 record now. So shout out to New York because they're balling. Also, the Chiefs beat the 49ers 44-23. That was a game that I was watching. Jimmy G, I mean, he was playing okay at first, and the game was a little close, like in the first half. But the Chiefs, they just started playing like the Chiefs, and Patrick Mahomes just connecting with Juju Smith-Schuster. Of course, Travis Kelce and all of his receivers. So they were able to win a huge game right there. I mentioned earlier how the Seattle Seahawks have been one of the surprising teams in this league so far. They beat the Chargers 37-23 this past Sunday, and it looks like they obviously, with no debate, won that trade with the Broncos. How Russell Wilson and the Broncos have been playing just poor, miserably, and disappointing this year. But the Seahawks have been surprising. Like I said, Geno Smith playing great for them this year. He's been connecting with, DK Metcalf. Of course, he got hurt as well, so hopefully he's not out too long. And then also connecting with Tyler Lockett and receivers like that. So it looks like Geno Smith just prepared right in. Of course, being a backup under Russell Wilson for the past few years, I think that helped, being in that Pete Carroll system, and the defense looks solid as well. So yeah, shout out to the Seahawks. I mean, you can respect them because no one expected them to be good this year. The Miami Dolphins improved to a 4-3 record after beating the Steelers 16-10. Tua Tagovailoa returned from having a concussion injury a few weeks ago, and he played a really good game, going 21 for 35, throwing for 261 passing yards. So I'm glad he was able to return to the game that he loves. Tua is a well-respected player, especially after what happened. I mean, and how he's handling the whole situation after being concussed and just what he went through. But I mean, well-respected player, and I think he's going to earn a potential contract extension after this season. People say the stuff about him, but I think he's a really good quarterback, and he's going to continue to rise in this league, and the Dolphins will hopefully make the playoffs in his sake. So yeah, the Dolphins won that game 16-10. Last but not least, the Monday night game that took place in Week 7 between the Chicago Bears and the Patriots was a surprising one because the Chicago Bears actually beat the Patriots 33-14. Now, obviously, Matt Jones returned in this game after suffering an ankle injury a few weeks ago, but he only played 3 series, and after he threw an interception early in the first half, he got benched. I mean, after the game, Bill Belichick said something about him being limited in snaps, but even there was something said that Bailey Zappi was surprised to be playing so quickly. So it seems like there might be a little quarterback controversy in New England right now. I mean, Bailey Zappi, he threw some interceptions too. I mean, he threw 2 and then Matt Jones only threw 1, but Matt Jones only attempted 6 passes, so that's crazy. But Bailey Zappi threw for 185 passing yards, had 1 touchdown. And then the Bears as a unit just played really good. Justin Fields, he had 179 passing yards, threw for 1 touchdown, 13 for 21. So, hey, the Bears look okay. I mean, they're 3-4. Patriots 3-4. I mean, the Bears have the same record as the Packers, and they're in the same division. So, I mean, someone could be said that, I mean, they're not too far apart. I mean, obviously, that's crazy to say, but, I mean, hey, but that was an interesting game. And there's always interesting games because any given Sunday, Thursday, Monday, whatever games NFL has games on, I mean, anyone can win, anyone can lose. Like I said earlier, let me know in the comments down below what you think of this weekly series, this weekly recap, and how your team is doing right now. Hopefully your team isn't doing bad. Hopefully you don't have a favorite team that is pretty garbage right now. Hopefully they're pretty good and contending. But yeah, like I said, y'all let me know what y'all think of this series and how your team is doing. I appreciate y'all guys watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at SwaggyRuss, and also on TikTok at SwaggyRuss02 for cooking videos and content like that. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, guys. I'm so excited. So much stuff to come, guys. More, of course, sports videos, pop culture stuff, cooking stuff, and all things like that. I appreciate y'all support always, man. I hope y'all are doing well and being blessed, and y'all have a good one.